Well, what's up? What's up? Monday. What's going on? Monday, December the 14th. What is up, guys? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I know I did. Getting it going here on a Monday. We're just a week and a half away from Christmas. How about that? Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll kind of let people file in here, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. Excited to be talking to you guys here on a Monday. Okay. All right. Should be good to go. Yo, Jaden Harris, what's up? Deacon, what's up? What's going on? Having a day of it, folks. Getting the week off hot, getting it started hot. Cheers, Parrish. What's up, man? Cheers to you all. Let's see, can I fit this here? Yes, I can. Beautiful. Phil, what's going on? All aboard. Yeah, I can tell you guys this, by the way. I hope you get to experience this one day. But, man, there is nothing like getting your own merch and putting it on. I mean, as you can see, we're rocking the Beamer Ball t-shirt, fire, fuego. If you ordered in the last couple of weeks, if your shipment's not there yet, it should be getting there very, very soon. I got this actually on Saturday, and so to be able to, or I think maybe like late Friday or something, whatever. But to be able to get this, rock this shirt, these turned out awesome. Turned out absolutely awesome. So, yeah, and again, a lot of exciting stuff on the way in regards to the merch stuff. I'm waiting for it to finalize before I actually officially announce it, but a lot of exciting stuff. Eric, what's going on? Spurs Up coffee mugs on the way. Yes, I will make those immediately following this because, as you can see, I'm drinking out of my coffee mug here, and it's like I need to have a Spurs Up Show coffee mug. So I'm really going to make them for me. If you guys want to buy a Spurs Up Show, or, hey, we can make a Beamer Ball coffee mug. We could do that. We could throw those in a coffee mug, too. I mean, that's, whatever. We'll get creative with it. But I'm going to make one for me, definitely, yeah, with the business logo on there. Because like I said, as much as I drink coffee, there's absolutely no reason why I should not have a coffee mug with my business logo on it. So, and I was telling somebody else this, over the weekend. If there's ever stuff that you guys think would be cool to have like the logo on or like the t-shirts on this or that or whatever, let me know because I can basically make anything on my store. That's the cool thing. Koozies I cannot make on there, but I do want to get into the Spurs Up Show koozies. Yes, that's something I want to do. I'm thinking with koozies, though, I don't know. I haven't decided. how I'm going to handle koozies, but I definitely want to do koozies. I definitely like to do that. So, yeah. So, Jake Thompson, any word on new coaches on staff? So, yeah, podcast dropped this morning, episode 338. I talked a lot about that. What I said on the show today, I'll tell you guys here. And again, this isn't anything like groundbreaking or earth-shattering or whatever. And maybe it's information you guys would have already known. But my source hit me up over the weekend and said he's pretty confident that he knows the guys that will be returning. And it sounds like it's going to be Des Kitchings, Connor Shaw, and Rod Wilson, and everybody else will be out. So we'll see what happens. Again, that's just the rumor. It doesn't really surprise me, but that means no Mike Bobo coming back, no Bobby Bentley. So take it for what it's worth. Somebody said also something about the beard. I appreciate the beard love, man. I appreciate that. Jason Mulla. God, I'm going to butcher your last name, bro. Jason, appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love for sure. SEC Football 2, what's up, man? Congrats on hitting 1,000. Congrats on hitting 1,000 subs, my guy. Awesome stuff. Congratulations. So, Mike Grubbs, I don't know if you seen my question. Birch deleted his Instagram. Any word on him? I think Birch is fine. I think Birch will be back. He's never really been a big social media guy anyway, so that doesn't like shock me or anything. But no, I think we're fine. I think we're fine with Birch. Paris Jordan, you need some crew neck merch. I'll get you on the crew necks. I can make crew necks. It's my vendor right now, unfortunately, is not the easiest to work with because you can only upload 2 new products per 24 hours. So, there's like 100 things I want to upload, but I literally have to pick and choose like which 2 I'm going to do every 24 hours. So, yeah. So, yeah, I was – here's the thing. I'll say this because I see Phil saying surprised that Bentley would not be retaining. Guys, 843-790-3377. I will be taking your questions, comments, and calls as well. Let me go ahead and open up the phone lines. But I see Phil saying, surprised they're not keeping Bentley on staff. I would challenge you with this. And again, I said this on the podcast that dropped this morning. Have you ever thought maybe Bentley doesn't want to come back? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know if you guys knew, but this year for Bobby Bentley was his year where he officially hit the number of years you need as a state employee to become retired and whatever, get his money. So, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to come back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know he's a football guy and he loves the game, and it's much easier to sit on this side of things and say, oh, yeah, I just take the money and I just chill and I wouldn't do anything. But maybe he just wants to kick it. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he just wants to hang out. So, I mean, you never know. You never know. So, all right, let's go and jump to the phone lines here. Hey, Justin, what's up, man? How are you?
Not much. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. Appreciate it.
Hey, Chris, who do you think the next Auburn coach going to be for next year?
The Auburn coach?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good. I mean, maybe Hugh Freeze. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking Freeze, Napier, Tony Elliott, maybe, are like the leading candidates. I don't know. That's a tough job, man. I was talking to my buddy about that last night, and just how tough is that job when you have to play Nick Saban every year? And I guess it's kind of a similar situation with us. You got to play Clemson every year, but Auburn. I mean, their expectations are to win national titles. So that's a tough job, but I mean, it's a good job, no doubt. I mean, Auburn's a good job, but I just say it's a tough job because I mean, Malzahn, it's not like he did terribly there. I mean, he had some pretty damn good teams. He beat Bama just enough. I think that's one of the reasons he stuck around for so long. But now I don't know. I mean, I would think Hugh Freeze is definitely going to be at the top of the list. Maybe Napier, maybe a Chadwell. Heck, I don't know. But I think out of Auburn, and if Tennessee makes the move, one of those two is going to land Hugh Freeze. I think Hugh Freeze is going to come back to the SEC, no question. So.
Yeah, I agree, Chris, because we get a second chance down there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, man. It'll be interesting to see who gets that job. But yeah, I wasn't surprised they fired him. I was surprised that when it happened. Because I mean, fans have been grumbling on the Plains for years, but just it happening after they win by 2 touchdowns, and they owe him $10 million in the next 30 days. So
wow.
And then they owe him another $10 million over some years or whatever. So I mean, I tell you what, the real MVP is these agents. I don't understand these buyouts for these coaches. It's baffling to me. I really don't. But whatever.
Yeah,
so,
me neither. Yeah, Chris, because it's kind of ridiculous,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I'll say this too. I'm glad we fired Muschamp when we did, because we were able to get out ahead and get our coach and get our guy we wanted. And, we didn't have to feel like we were competing with Auburn or Tennessee or whoever else to get a coach. So, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I know South Carolina is supposed to play Auburn next year. I know some people have said maybe we won't because of, we played them this year, whatever. I think we probably still do play them, but no, if we do, that'll be a definitely interesting 2 first-year head coaches going at it. That'll be a really interesting storyline. But yeah, I don't know. I think Freeze though is going to land at either Tennessee or Auburn. I think he's coming back to the SEC, so that might be their guy.
Yeah, I agree, Chris, because he wants to come back so bad,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, do you think Gus Malzahn will be the next office coordinator at South Carolina?
Do I think who will be the next OC?
Do you think Gus Malzahn will be a good fit as office coordinator at South Carolina?
Gus Malzahn, you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. He's a good offensive coach, but I don't really want to do the whole retread thing. I mean, he just got fired from Auburn for a reason. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's definitely a good offensive mind. Don't get me wrong, but I'll pass. I think there are some probably better options. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping this week, because I see somebody just asking in the chat, when will we hear some legit staff announcements? I would like to think this week. I mean, you have signing day on Wednesday. Heck, I'd like to think in the next 24 to 48 hours, we're going to hear something as far as the staff is concerned. But, Shane Beamer doing his due diligence. I'm sure it's not quite as easy to hire right now when the season's not over. But, hopefully we'll find out soon. But, yeah, man, I appreciate the questions, bro. Appreciate the call as always.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, man.
Take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, appreciate it. Taking you guys' calls, 843-790-3377, guys. 843-790-3377. As you can see here on a Monday, we're rocking the new merch, the Beamer Ball merch. Love it. Love how it turned out. This stuff is awesome, and I appreciate you guys' love and support in regards to the merchandise. As you can see, also, paying a little tribute to Steven Garcia, since that was the conversation on today's podcast. Just a roach on a rock. Just a roach on a rock. Roach blood coming from the legend himself. Dude, if you have not done so, do yourself a favor and listen to that interview. Listen to that conversation. Obviously, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had Steven Garcia on the show way back in 2018. And then, well, actually, we had him on, 2018 and 2017. It had been a while since I had him on, though. But the conversation was more so focused around, because we talked about his career ad nauseum the first two times he came on. This was more about Shane Beamer, current day Gamecock football, like what is going on, all that good stuff. And no, I did not disappoint. I mean, Steven's a legend, man. Steven's a legend. It was hilarious, entertaining, informative, everything you could hope for from a Steven Garcia interview. So really, really good stuff. But you guys go check that out. Awesome conversation, like I said. The podcast this morning, episode 338 that dropped. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff from Steven and yours truly, obviously. So let's see. Hunter Brown. Why hasn't Garcia gotten his shot in the NFL? He got his shot a little bit, I think, in pro football, but it just didn't work out, man. Just kind of how it goes in the league. Let's see. William Bauer says, got our guy early. Beamer wasn't going to be a candidate anywhere else. And I can sense your sarcasm. Well, dude, you were able to do the vetting process, not competing with anybody else. Like, you act like Beamer's the only guy they hired or they interviewed. He's not. They interviewed a ton of guys. I know for a fact they interviewed double-digit guys. So we were able to sort through all candidates before everybody else and pick our guy out of all of them. So that's the point. Let's see. Savannah Webster, Napier is floating around Auburn, and Cristobal from Oregon. That'd be an interesting hire for sure. Justin says the Napier part could be a shirt. He was at Clemson when you were in college. Oh, the hell with that guy. Yeah, that was funny. That I was like, man, I sure am glad we didn't hire Billy Napier. That was that made me laugh for sure. So Phil Harris, Auburn firing their head coach that has never had a losing record and giving him $21 million to walk away is peak 2020. I mean, look, I'm like, again, I'm not shocked because they've been complaining about Gus Malzahn for years on the Plains. So like, it didn't shock me that they fired him, but yeah, the timing just was very, very interesting. The timing was interesting. I don't know. So again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls 843-790-3377, 843-790-3377. Savannah Webster, what's going on? She says, Auburn has high standards. Indeed, they do. Indeed, they do. And I'm not saying that Auburn shouldn't hold themselves to a standard of winning titles and getting to the SEC championship and all that because, heck, they've got everything there and they've obviously done it before. They have the tradition, but man, I kind of feel for the next guy because it's like as long as Nick Saban's at Alabama, where's Alabama going? You know what I mean? Like, where are they going to go? They're not going anywhere. Let's see. Somebody says, Kelly Delk, is Joe Brady as OC realistic? I don't think so. I don't think he's leaving the Panthers to come to a college job. I think Joe Brady is on the fast track to be an NFL head coach. So no, I don't think so personally, but you never know. I mean, obviously that'd be a dream hire. Let's see. Jim Widener, just heard that Coach Beamer will be interviewed on 107.5 The Game at 1:00 for everybody that's interested. Yeah, I did see that. So I'll probably be tuning into that. I got to work, I guess, to get Coach Beamer on the show. I don't know. Maybe I can hit up somebody. I don't know. Maybe Steve Fink or Kent Reichert or somebody. Hell, I don't know. Try to get old Beamer on the podcast. Dylan Sutter, do you think Helinski transfers could be interesting with a new head coach and maybe getting a fresh start? I think most likely he does, but you never know. Again, what conversations is Shane Beamer going to have with the kid? I have no idea. But I just think with the type of offense they're going to run, I'm expecting it to be spread, up-tempo. You need a dual-threat quarterback. The guys that you have coming on campus in guys like in guys like you already have Luke Doty, Colton Gauthier, and then Gunnar Stockton. You see the future of that position going much more towards a spread offense with a mobile quarterback, with a dual threat quarterback. So that's what I would think. But we'll see. Savannah Webster, are these rumors true that some coaches are being announced? If so, can you list? I have not heard that. I do not know that for a fact. I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys are. I'm just kind of sitting there and waiting to hear anything, to hear something. So I saw some rumors last night on Twitter of, next 24 hours, next 48 hours. We'll see. I mean, it's all hearsay at this point again. I mean, who knows? Who knows? So, I think we'll find out soon enough. We'll find out soon enough. And maybe they know behind closed doors or, whatever it may be. But, we'll see. So, again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Let's see. Hunter Herlong, what are the chances Carolina's back in Atlanta in 5 or 6 years? I mean, I think they're as good as they could be. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say it's 100% or anything because, you just never know. And, hey, history says that South Carolina won't ever get back there, honestly. But, I mean, I like what Coach Beamer's doing, what he's starting to build. And, I'm excited to see. I think it's possible. I mean, things have got to break your way, and you got to get some big-time ball players on campus, and you got to coach them up. But why not? Why not South Carolina? Why couldn't they do it? You know what I mean? So we'll see. Hunter Brown, there's some good receivers in the transfer portal this year. Anybody we could go after? I mean, I think certainly. You look at guys that are transferring from Georgia. I talked to my buddy Tyler McComas last week, and he's talking about guys from OU that might want to transfer, 5-star guys. So, you never know. I mean, I think South Carolina's certainly going to hit the transfer portal hard. I think they should. I think there would be a lot of guys to go after. So, Jonathan Lee, any news on any recruits we got looking at us with Beamer? Nothing new. Nothing new on that front. So, at least that I've heard. Nothing new on that front. So, Justin says, do you think if Dak stays, he would be on the quarterback depth chart? He's an athlete, and the few times he passed, looked like he could spin it. You never know. How will they utilize him if Dak Joyner stays on campus? I have no idea. That's the first question you have to resolve is he going to be a Gamecock next season, period? So, I don't know. Paul says, what happened to Mike Wyman, 4-star last class? Yeah, I think I think he actually got COVID, by the way. But injuries as well, just kind of a washed freshman year. So, Hunter Brown, still mind-blowing. We didn't even offer the wide receiver at Tennessee. How'd that even happen, bro? I have no idea. Jalen Hyatt, I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I have no clue. I have no clue, my guy. I wish I had like a good reasoning behind why it didn't happen. Let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Let's see. Lance Player, Beamer's busting his ass right now. Indeed. No, I think he's fired up to be here. And again, talking to Steven Garcia about it, and obviously he's had conversations with Shane Beamer and just getting his thoughts. And like I said, if you haven't listened to the podcast this morning, definitely need to tune in. Steven Garcia, his comments, his thoughts on everything. Really awesome stuff to get his perception or his perspective, if you will. So really awesome stuff. Andrew Bauer's point spread for the SEC title game this Saturday. I saw Bama was a 17-point favorite. That's what it opened at, 17 points. So much for that being a good game. Couldn't believe LSU beat Florida. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Steven says, what's your prediction for Gus Malzahn? Where do you think he's going to go? I have no idea, man. I have no clue. No clue. Does he stay in the SEC? Here's a spin zone for you. Gus Malzahn and Will Muschamp go to Vanderbilt. What a time that would be. What a time that would be. Trey says, who would you want for your coordinators? Like I said, man, it's the same way I was with the head coach, but even more so with the coordinator thing. Whoever Shane Beamer brings on, man, I'm going to be happy with. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever Shane Beamer, he's the one behind closed doors, doing the due diligence, sorting these guys out, interviewing these guys. whoever he appoints to be his coordinators, I fully trust Shane Beamer 110%. I'll be happy no matter what. So, Tommy McClellan, Garcia is a legend, always great, and tells it like it is. Indeed, that dude is so genuine, an awesome guy, awesome human being. Loved every second. Loved every second of our conversation with him. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Jonathan Barnes, I like to get Derek Mason as DC. Seems to be loved and respected by his players. I mean, I don't think that'd be a terrible move. I mean, I really don't. I know I definitely the names I'm hearing right now, Jay Bateman. That's a really popular one, the DC at UNC. I was told from the beginning of the process that Barry Odom was the guy they wanted, who was the former Missouri head coach and is now the DC at Arkansas. If that one fell through, I heard Bud Foster was a realistic name. So who knows? Who knows? So now there's an interesting – there would be an interesting move. Hunter Brown says 247 guy said something about James Franklin to Auburn. That would be very interesting for sure, getting him back in the SEC. Kevin Schuler says, do you think Kevin Steele is a possibility as DC now that Gus is gone from Auburn? I mean, it's certainly possible. Why not? Definitely possible. So I could see it. I could definitely see it. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Let's see. Andrew Bowers, I could see us contend for the East by 2022 once Beamer gets his talent in here. Very possible. Very possible. We've seen some crazy fast turnarounds, man. I think you got to get your ball players in there, though. You don't want to set the expectations too high. Beamer's got to get his ball players in there, but I'm excited for sure, man. I'm excited. So Eric Fryer says Sling Blade for DC. Yeah, I think number one, Sling Blade is sticking to the offensive side, and number two, yeah, that ain't happening. Donnie Cunningham, Clark Lay is a Vandy alum, home run hire for them. Yeah, I think it was a good hire. I think it was a good hire overall for Vandy. So, Vandy, obviously, we all know the challenges, tough place to win. But, I think overall it's a good hire for them. So, Gary August, Gus is going to sit home and collect that check like Will Muschamp. He just might do it, bro. $10 million they owe him over the next 30 days. The next 30 days. Wild. Deacon says, why can't we just skip to 2022? I don't want to wait this long. Why can't we just skip to next season? What about next season? You don't want to go through year one? I want to go through year one. Yeah, why not? I'm excited for it. I'm excited for year one. I'm very excited for year one. Let's see. Baker, I wore my hat like this just to piss you off, honestly. Like, that's the only reason. Rashad says, do you think we get some transfers this year from other Power 5 schools? I think 110%. I think that'll be a huge part of South Carolina as far as getting players for year one. I mean, you have to think there's going to be some wide receivers on the transfer market. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we definitely hit the transfer portal market hard for sure. Stacy says there's talent here. It's just that Muschamp didn't develop or coach the players. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think we have good ball players on the roster. Just never got developed. Again, roster mismanagement and lack of player development. I said it last week, and I've said it like 1,000 times. I think that was a big piece of it. So, let's see. Eric says, saw a great tweet today. Both teams we had their coach, or both teams we beat had their coach fired. Yeah, I don't know. Losing to South Carolina, just a kiss of death. Joseph said, did you see the order of the schedule next season and playing Georgia week 3? What are your thoughts on it? Where did you see that? Because the schedule, and if you're going off the schedule that I put out there, because, I mean, I'm seeing that there's no dates have been announced yet. No dates have been announced yet as far as I am seeing. So unless this is a brand new development, I'm not seeing that. So you tell me if I'm wrong. Dre says, I think Shane would be a good fit mainly because he loves the culture and the program of South Carolina more than he wants a paycheck. Well, I think you obviously saw that when he was hired, and he said he'd take less to get better coordinators. I think that screams it to you right there. Yeah, guys, a reminder, the order of these games hasn't been announced, but there are the 12 games. So, no, it's not and that's a good buddy of mine, Gamecock Insider, does a good job, but no. So he just listed it. The dates are not announced, so those dates are not accurate. Yeah. So, Eric Fry, what can you tell us about the culture inside the building since Beamer's hire? Obviously, I talked about this on the show that dropped today. I had the opportunity to talk to a current South Carolina football player, and obviously. Obviously, I won't mention the kid's name, but it was really cool and it was funny because he kind of knew, he knew who I was and what I did, and we had some good laughs over that. But no, I can tell you guys that the players are really, really excited. The introductory meeting, obviously, with Beamer went really well, but the players are really excited. Those guys are fired to play with him, and I think just from talking to him, the culture is much improved already, and it's going to be. It's going to be much, much improved. So. I know we're excited. I'm excited from my side of things, just as a fan, as far as what Shane Beamer has said publicly, and him being a Gamecock and all the stuff we talked about in the process of him getting the job. But if you guys want to know something else that'll fire you up, the players are excited too, and that's probably more important than how we feel. So, yeah, I'm excited for the culture. I think the players are excited. I think they're fired to play for this guy, and I think there's going to be a lot of positive culture changes behind closed doors, 100%. So, let's see. Hunter Brown, if JT Daniels is back next year for Georgia, I think you could lock them up for the East. Kind of scary to think about, to be honest. I mean, they're going to be good. I mean, Georgia's going to be Georgia. You know what I mean? Trent Strickland, is Bryce Steele planning to sign this week? What are the chances we get him back? I don't know. I mean, obviously he committed to Boston College after everything happened. I'm sure he'll take Shane Beamer's call, but realistically, what are the odds we get him back? I have no idea. So, Brian Welch, another good thing about Muschamp leaving is he would have eventually ran recruiting into the ground by continuing to start fifth-year grad transfers like Colin Hill, JT eBay, et cetera, were four-star guys who were committed straight out of high school. I don't care who you start, man. You just didn't win enough games. That's why Muschamp got fired. It wasn't because of who he played. It was because of the results of playing the guys that he played. So, give me 1 second, guys. Justin says, I wouldn't mind a week 3 Georgia game. We have beat them early, not to mention it's still early, and we could take advantage of them not being fully prepared for us under a first-year head coach. Yeah. I mean, yeah, good point. I mean, that game is always competitive no matter what. Obviously, this past season it wasn't because you're basically down half your team. You know what I mean? Like, it's, a little bit different scenario. But, no, yeah, man. I mean, either way, we'll play them whenever. South Carolina, Georgia. It doesn't matter if it's week 2 or week 12. We'll play them whenever. But it is always fun to play them early in the season. Like Steve Spurrier said, you can always count on them having a couple guys suspended out for the game. But, no, seriously, that's always a fun matchup, man. Eric Fryer, heard that the Spurs Up show will get an exclusive exit interview with Sling Blade. Any truth to that? We'll have to see. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. So, again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Todd Smith, the show this morning with Garcia was fire. Thank you so much for tuning in, sir. It was an awesome conversation. I was able to sit down, chat with Steven Garcia. In case you guys have been living under a rock and you haven't seen the podcast that dropped this morning, Steven Garcia on the show. And it's just always a legendary time when you get Steven Garcia behind a mic. I mean, it never disappoints. You know what I mean? And we obviously talked about Shane Beamer's hiring and the dismissal of Will Muschamp and his experiences with Coach Beamer and what he's kind of expecting. We also talk about the quarterback position and, I mean, just a little bit of everything, man. It was a hilarious convo. I mean, that dude is laugh out loud funny and so genuine, such a good dude, too. I want to make that clear. He's such a good guy. So, what a legend. Bailey Campbell, is Martin in trouble? And I'm assuming you're talking about Frank Martin. I mean, I wouldn't say he's in trouble, but obviously one of our contributors put out an article this morning, or we put out an article this morning. One of my contributors wrote it about Frank Martin and why he thinks Frank Martin could be on the hot seat. And, I think he made some very valid points. I mean, he really did. And, I know people are very sensitive about Frank Martin. They God forbid you say one negative thing about Frank, but, we're kind of getting to the point in his tenure. Like and I know this basketball season's weird, whatever, but man, if you miss the postseason this year, it's kind of like shit or get off the pot. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Something has to change. You know what I mean? So you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expect different results. So what are we doing? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Honestly. So Jaden Harris, if Florida beats Bama in the SEC title, is that enough to lift Florida in the playoffs? Dude, I'm pulling for that to happen because I just want pure chaos, really. I want pure chaos. So I don't know if it'd be enough or not, but, man, it would make for one hell of a storyline. Joseph, what's up with the Troy game being in such a weird spot in the season next year, October 2nd? I mean, it's just when it was scheduled. I have no idea. So Jeff Madison, what's your thoughts on Lonnie Galloway as wide receiver coach from North Carolina? Rumored he is a candidate. I'd like to see Jason Barnes get it, bro, from Dutch Fork. I mean, former Gamecock. He's done great work at Dutch Fork. Obviously, Coach Jalen Hyatt. Why shouldn't he get a shot? You know what I mean? Why should he not get a shot is my question. So, let's see. Eric Fryer, yeah, some of the comments that Garcia made. And obviously, I posted the snippet last night of what I don't know. You guys tell me, do I look like Steven Garcia? That's a great question. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Do I look like Steven Garcia to you guys? Because I've had multiple people tell me that. I think it's just the beard. It's the beard and the nose, I think, is what does it. It's the beard and the nose. So, I don't know. And obviously, you guys probably heard I asked Garcia if that was a compliment or an insult. And he said that's a compliment. You probably get a ton of, yeah. I won't necessarily repeat it, but God, what a legend. I mean, what a legend that guy is. So, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. So, sounds like we got a rainy day in the city today, guys. Old rainy day in the city. It's just the beard, indeed. Yeah. Phil Harris said Garcia had a hate relationship with Spurrier. He's just a hard-headed kid, man. I think that's what it was. And I think it was a situation where Spurrier knew how good Garcia was, and that's probably why he was so tough on him, to be totally honest. So, Jerry Withrow, will Beamer get players like we had in 2010? Well, the players like we had in 2010, the state of South Carolina went through an unprecedented run of producing talent. So, are we going to get players exactly like Marcus Lattimore and Alshon Jeffrey and Stephon Gilmore? I can't say that for certain. Will guys like that come back to the state? I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know. So, but I think Shane Beamer will get the players he needs to have success here. I do. Yeah, I think he'll get those guys. Brian Welch, I can't believe Spurrier was actually worried about Garcia's hair and beard 2 hours before a huge game against Georgia. Yeah, I mean, that's just, yeah, wild. Wild. So, Justin, as a college basketball fan, we got robbed the year after our Final Four appearance. If Martin don't make it this year, any other school would let him go. And I agree. And like I said, I am not sitting here on like, the fire Frank Martin train. I'm not saying that at all. I like Frank. I think if you let him go, I don't know that you could find somebody better. But at some point, you have to stop spinning your wheels and say, okay, what we're doing is not working. Like, what do we need to change? At some point, you have to do that. You just have to. So, that's just my 2 cents on it. Tim Woodward, how far can ex-players help recruit legally? I think as long as they're not giving them gifts I don't know. I think as long as they're not giving them gifts or anything, I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the legalities with the NCAA. Hey, just don't get caught, whatever you do. So, Stevie Odom, the state is putting out talent. Problem is Carolina hasn't been getting it. See, I disagree with that. I say the one thing that Will Muschamp was able to hang his hat on at South Carolina was that he was able to recruit the state. I mean, really, he was able to recruit the state of South Carolina. Look at guys like Luke Doty, Tonka Hemingway, Jordan Birch, Alex Huntley. That's just from last year alone. He was able to keep those guys at South Carolina. But again, I go back to those guys were just never developed. You haven't been able to get the most out of that talent. That's been your problem. That's been your problem. So, yeah, I mean, I think you've been able to recruit in state fairly well, personally. But now this year there's a lack of talent. I said that, hell, South Carolina could have went 7-3 this year, and I would have told you guys, hey, I think 2021 recruiting class is going to struggle because you don't have that crop of in-state talent to pull from, and you're coming off a 4-8 year, so it's already hard to recruit there. So, but yeah, what baffles me, I will say about this year, when you look at the top 5 players in the state of South Carolina, and they're committed to Georgia, Florida, UNC. That's your top 4 guys. And guess what? 3 and 4, the UNC guys, are wide receivers. How on God's green earth can you not keep them home? Like one of your most needed positions, and you can't keep them home. What the hell? Just crazy, dude. Just crazy. Hunter Brown, people say we only got Doty and Joyner because they were turned down by Clemson. Well, I will say this. I will make this point. One of the reasons Will Muschamp was able to recruit so well in state is Clemson's success. And let me explain. Clemson doesn't have to recruit in the state of South Carolina. They're a national brand. As much as this pains to say and probably pains for you to hear, they're a national brand. They don't have to get the guys in state. So a guy like Luke Doty or Dak, they're nice to have, but they're not need to haves for Clemson. They're going outside the state. They're getting the number 1 player from Ohio, the number 1 player from Texas. Don't matter. So, and I hope South Carolina, I want South Carolina to succeed recruiting in state, obviously, but I hope one day they can get to that level where it's like, man, we're going to get anybody we want. It don't matter where they are. Clemson has turned themselves into a national brand. So you got to respect it. You have to respect it. So. But, and I also think Shane Beamer's recruiting footprint, where he's been, is going to help in that regard. So he's recruited, the Midwest, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, whatever. He's, and I'm not saying there's tons of players there, but there's some ball players there. He's recruited that area. So maybe you'll start to see South Carolina's recruiting footprint spread out a little bit. But there's enough talent to go get guys to win at South Carolina. There's no question. You're in the Southeast. There's fantastic players all over the place. And it's more importantly about getting guys in that fit your culture, fit your system, fit what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build. Because it's like Perry Orr said, you can do more with less when you got a group of guys in there that all buy in and all play for one another and play for a common cause. So find those guys. Find guys that want to be Gamecocks. Like Shane Beamer said in his introductory presser, find guys that want to be Gamecocks, that feel as grateful to be a Gamecock as he does. You can do some damage with guys like that. You got to go find the guys like the DJ Swearingers, who were 3-star prospects. Dylan Thompson was a 2. You got to be able to do more with less at South Carolina. Until you get to the point where we're recruiting top 5 classes annually, you got to be able to do more with less. And again, that was one of my biggest indictments on the previous staff. You're recruiting at a top 20 clip year after year after year after year. And, somebody made this remark to me a couple months ago that said, it's like when guys go to South Carolina, they play 1 star worse than their star rating. Why is that? All comes back to coaching. So, the thing that Spurrier and those guys and Beamer, when he was there, what they were so good at doing was taking guys that were a 2 or 3 or 4 star and getting them to play better, elevating their level of play. So getting the most out of them. So hopefully you see that return. You have to. You just have to. Paul Yarborough, we have to get back to pulling in some major North Carolina talent. Lots of Gamecock love in the North State. I agree, especially with the success UNC having. You got to find a way to get back into Charlotte, get back in the state of North Carolina. You used to have a barrier up around there. Now, with Mac Brown, what he's doing, it's just getting tougher. It's getting tougher. Got to find a way to win back the state. Got to. So, Sidney Boyle, why haven't we been able to develop players like other schools? Strength and conditioning can't be all of it. Just all goes back to coaching. That's, and maybe that's the cop-out answer. Maybe that's the easy answer. But here's the thing. All of these players we brought on campus, you cannot sit here and tell me that all of them have been a bust. There's just no way. These are talented ball players. These are talented athletes. Just doesn't make any sense. So it all comes back to development and coaching and putting guys in position to be successful. So Tom McClellan, DJ Swag is my all-time favorite defender at Carolina. He would knock your head off. Indeed, he would. Love that guy. Love that guy. So Baker B90 says, never seen kids get worse the longer they played with us. I mean, dude, as funny as that is, you make a very good point. I mean, that's the bad part is you make such a good point. It's true. It's flat out true. Guys regressed with us. Guys regressed. Bottom line. So, what do you guys want to talk about on the podcast tomorrow, by the way? I'm thinking maybe I'm going to start breaking down these. If we don't hear any news today, I'm thinking I might start breaking down like the top candidates and my who I would, how I would rank them. Like, so I might do defensive coordinators tomorrow, maybe offensive coordinators Wednesday. I don't know. I'd love for just some news to drop. We were supposed to have a basketball game tonight, but thanks a lot, COVID. 2020 strikes again. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Yeah, when are we going to hear about bowl games? Like, where's the news? Help us out. I will say this. I do know for a fact that South Carolina's players reported back to campus today basically South Carolina's preparing like it's going to be in a bowl game. So I think if, and I say this, and I know you guys might laugh, but I'm being dead ass serious. If South Carolina can field a team, if they can realistically field a team to go play a game, South Carolina's going to play in a bowl game. Bottom line. Because think about it, guys. If South Carolina goes to the Gasparilla Bowl, for example, the payout on that bowl game is like $1.2 million. They're going to sign that check off and directly send it to Will Muschamp for the buyout. No question. No question. So, Eric Fryer, putting players in the position they should be playing rather than where the coaches want them to play. Attitude leads aptitude. Agree. Indeed. 110%. Maddox Free, what's going on? Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. Appreciate you all tuning in here on a Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not done so, check out the podcast drop this morning, episode 338. I talk about things I'm hearing about in regards to the coaching staff coming together. Also, conversations I had over the weekend with a current South Carolina player about Shane Beamer and just how everything's changed over the last couple of weeks or so. Really cool stuff there. But, of course, the highlight of the Monday show of the show today, the conversation with Steven Garcia, Gamecocks legend, joining the show to talk about Shane Beamer, the firing of Will Muschamp, his thoughts on Gamecock football moving forward into the future. Everything else, hilarious convo, really, really good stuff. You guys be sure to check that out. Tyler Noel, heard they have 53 players that will be available. That's not including the guys who declare for the draft. I think we will have enough. Yeah, like I said, it sounds kind of funny to say, but yeah, if we have enough, I'd love to see us go play. So, So Eric Fryer says, are we going to go to overtime today and possibly be able to comment here on the 1 p.m. presser Beamer is having? I would do that, but I don't want to be on 107.5 the game schedule in the sense that, I don't really know exactly when they're going to have Beamer on there, the commercials. We got stuff going on, man. I'll definitely be tuned in. I'll definitely be tweeting it out and making my comments on it, whatever. But, yeah, I don't want to be on the live stream until 2:00. You know what I mean? We got content rolling. We got stuff to do. But I will be obviously tuned in. Yes, I will be tuned in. Trip, what's going on, man? Lance Player, the thing Beamer brings to the table is his ability to reach kids and get just a little more out of them, and that is why it was an amazing hire. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree 110%. So, Savannah Webster, free the cleat. Says she's in Florida, had to make a dig. Yeah, and obviously we all hope the Gasparilla Bowl is the selection because that's down there. What is that down there in Tampa, right? It's down there in Tampa. So I know we'd all be excited for that. Yeah, as you guys can see, I've got the Beamer Ball swag on. The shirts came in. I'm ecstatic how they turned out. And again, obviously got some really exciting news on the merchandise front coming in the next couple of days that I'm waiting for everything to be official, but that I'll be telling you guys about. And I appreciate your love and support because without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. But some really exciting stuff happening behind the scenes for sure. So Maddox Free says, just watching football in general this year was horrible. In my opinion, no fans, no fun. Well, hey, I think it's a blessing we had ball. So you can disagree, but yeah, I think it's a blessing we had ball. Tyler Noel, do you have any more Beamer Ball shirts and Garnet back in stock? All right, hold on. Let me check. What is the update on that? Are there none available in Garnet at all or just one size? Because it looks like they should be available. I mean, I'm on the website. It looks like to me they're available. You check for me. I could be wrong. Like I said, guys, I'm really at the mercy of my vendor at this point. Like I really am. Like if my vendor doesn't have that in stock, I mean, I'm just kind of like, I'll have to make an alternate basically. So, Hunter Brown, wish I got a good connection to 107.5 up here in Greenville. Well, they actually have an app you can download. If you want to download their app, yeah, you can listen to it. Yeah, Tyler Knoll, check on the store, tsus.store. I just went and checked. It looks like it's available. So just check on the store for me. I think it's available. Stevie Odom says bowl games equals more practices. More practices equals better players next year. If they get a bowl game in Florida, I'm going to try to take a road trip to see. Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on going. I mean, so Savannah Webster's talking about hitting up Tampa Bay Gamecocks. That's my plan. I actually talked to Garcia about that off air, and I said if South Carolina gets in the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa, we're doing a live show from the Roach Ranch at his place in Tampa. He was like, I'm down. Let's go. So yes, Garcia's still in Tampa. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So Andrew Bowers, whoever playing a bowl game, nobody is stopping Kevin Harris. I would agree with you. I would agree with you 110%. So got about 15 minutes, guys. Taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. Again, guys, thank you so much for the love and support and everything else when it comes to everything we've been doing, obviously with the content, but also the merchandise. It's been a huge success with all of the Beamer stuff. And like I said, there's some really exciting stuff happening behind the scenes that I cannot wait to share those successes with you guys. Like I'm serious. And like I said, I don't know if maybe people on the podcast or that tune into this, they get tired of hearing me say thank you to you guys, but like I just couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without your support. Joseph, the app should just be 107.5. Yeah, here you go. 107.5 the game. Literally just look up 107.5 the game. So, or if you're on your computer, you can go to their website and you can listen. So that's probably what I'll be doing. Hunter Brown, Kevin Harris is a future first rounder. Heisman contender. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you, my guy. All right, here we go. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hey, yo, Parrish, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Chris? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. I just want to make a couple comments on Stephen Garcia and Shane Beamer real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
That boy Stephen Garcia a fool, man.
Yeah, it was that was I haven't laughed quite that much, and I haven't laughed that much in quite a while, put it that way. That was an awesome combo, man. And there's nothing there's nothing fake or phony about Stephen Garcia, man. He is who he is, and he don't give a damn if you like it or not. But now he's an awesome guy, man. That conversation was I think people are gonna really enjoy that if they haven't tuned in yet. That was a fun one. So really fun.
Yeah, I think his attitude, right? It just go to show you like the type of players that we had at that era. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody had their own personality, and in some way, shape, or form, it was a dog personality too. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a fuck what like Coach Spurrier say about my hair and stuff. Like I'm still gonna be who I'm gonna be regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I
like every player from their era they recruited. They all had their own personal way of doing stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, he's a legend, bro. He's a legend. There's no other way to put it. I mean, just hard-headed, stubborn. And I think again, one of the reasons Garcia was was tough on him, or that Spurrier was tough on Garcia. He knew how good he was. He knew how the potential he had, and so I think that's why he did it. But I mean, dude, just a legend, purely a legend. I don't know. I think Steven's at peace with his career and what happened, but I would say, you know what, I wouldn't change a thing either. I mean, it happened the way it did. There's a reason for everything, and I mean, just so many great memories, bro. So many great memories. So.
I want to touch on Shane Beamer with these coordinators too, man. Hey,
yeah.
I think us as the fan base, I think the same way how we were so up in arms about who the new head coach gonna be, we gotta be like this. Even though there's nothing we can do about it, but I think I'm happy to see how in tune we all are trying to be about the coordinators. I think this is the most important hire to me than the head coaching position because. This is gonna make or break Shane Beamer for real. You know what I'm saying? I think this coordinator hire, this is gonna determine how he gonna do next year if we go 6-6, 7-5, whatever. And I think it's gonna because to me, I don't see the point of you taking less money for coordinators if you're gonna get a bullshit coordinator. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. Like for me personally, I won't. If it was up to me. I would go for Garrett Riley, offensive coordinator, and I'll go for Charlie Strong as DC. You know what I'm saying? Because Charlie Strong already been there before. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been there, and then he got I fight a defense. I think in today's era anyway, they missing their old school, hard-hitting defense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the void that we could fill in next year, playing Georgia and Clemson and all them other soft teams. But, offensive-wise, I don't see why, like, Garrett Riley's name is not at the top. I'm hearing everybody else but him now. So I don't see the point of you taking less money if you're not getting the best coordinators.
Yeah. I mean, here, let me just make this point, man. The point is this. Nobody really knows. No, it's just like it was with the head coaching thing, man. Like everybody's just throwing out names. Nobody really knows. You know what I mean? Until it's and dude, it's even people know even less with this. Like we had a short list of candidates when it came to the head coaching position because it was just kind of obvious who the short list would be. Bro, this is like you could hire anybody. I mean, who knows who it'll be? So, I trust Shane Beamer either way, no matter who it is. I mean, he's going to go out there, I think, and make the best possible hire. Like we said, he has the money to spend. He has the freedom to go do it. But yeah, I would echo what you said, man. I think these hires are they're extremely important. You know what I mean? They're extremely important. I mean, he's going to be a guy that's going to let his guys coach. You know what I mean? And, you got to make sure you got the right coaches, bottom line. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's a huge, these are huge hires. These are extremely important. So.
Yeah, I think too, man. I think, I just hate to say this, but I feel like Clemson has set the trend with the CEO type of role coaching too.
Yeah, they have a little bit, like, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Because I kind of feel like on the low, that's what Auburn's gonna do. Like whoever they get, it's not gonna be a Saban type coach where they handles and everything.
Right.
Nah, it's gonna be a coach who playing more the CEO, like the head coach. Kind of like Shane Beamer. He's a likable guy, respectable guy. He's gonna be recruiter, and his job is to sell the school. That's gonna be your head coach. Then your coordinator is gonna be the real coach. And I feel like Auburn's gonna go that route.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, and like I said, yeah, you make a good point that, maybe Clemson is kind of, and it's just because of the success they've seen. You know what I mean? It's sort of set a trend as far as getting those type of coaches in there and letting your coordinators work, and again having more of that CEO type role, if you will. So yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly got something to do with it, but I think that's just kind of the smart way to go. You know what I mean? So. I don't know. Even if like you don't hire a guy that you say is like the quote unquote CEO type, you have to have those qualities. Like being a head coach is a lot more than knowing X's and O's, bro. You got to be the CEO of the organization, straight up. You got to deal with boosters and the board of trustees and the president and the AD. It's a lot more outside of football, bro. So you got to make sure you have coaches in place who are damn good coaches and you let them do their job. So, and you got to be likable by players. You got to recruit. Like, obviously, there's obvious things there. But, yeah, no, it's interesting to see how that's evolved. And, I think certainly the success, let's call it for what it is. The success that Dabo and Clemson have had have reinforced why that's a good idea to go with that type of guy. So,
Yeah. Hey, another thing I want to tip off too, man, before I get off the phone, man. Hey, all the Gamecock fans, man, stop saying 5 years, bro. We gonna do it in 3. All right, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel as a company. How far we gonna do it in 3? 2023 is our year. I don't want to 2025, bro. Who knows? The way how this pandemic and stuff going, man, we might not be no more sports in 5 years. All right, we gonna do it in 3. You know what I'm saying? We gonna knock Georgia Clemson out in the next 2 years. So to me, honestly, like they not that hard to beat. You just gotta put that fear in them. Just like how DJ Swear just said on the interview or whatever. He was like, man, he was talking shit to Clemson. Like him and Clowney, like they was talking shit to them boys before they even came out the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Like they let their stuff be known. Like, hey, look, like you know what I'm saying? Like who the guy who Sweargy had hit on Clemson, the running back then? I forgot his name.
Yeah, Andre Ellington. Andre Ellington. Yeah.
Yeah, Sweargy, he was like, man, I told Ellington, like, he was like, when like y'all see me hit him, I told him, like, I told you so. Like, I was gonna hit you before the game started. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that attitude, man. So we got it, man. Just give us 3 years, man. I don't want to hit no 5 years. It's too long.
Yeah, no, I hope you're right, man. I mean, I'm not looking. Like, to be honest with you, man, I'm kind of more so just locked in on next year, and I'm not putting I'm not saying it can't be done in 3 years. Let's put it that way. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, it can't be done until year 5. I mean, who knows? You might break out next year. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, dude, I hope you're right. Trust me. The sooner the better. I know we're all hungry for it. So.
Yeah, we can't wait. But all right, Chris, man, I appreciate your time. Man.
Yeah, Parrish, appreciate the call as always, man. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Right, later. No, good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm excited for Beamer. And again, I'm more so locked in on next year and versus because I mean, you just don't know. You can't predict what's going to happen in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but I feel good about next year. I think getting to 500 or better is extremely doable. I think that's a fair expectation from South Carolina fans, and I think that'd be a good, solid first year to build on, going 6-6 or 7-5, and kind of getting this thing going back on a positive trajectory, positive direction. Especially if you're playing an exciting brand of football, you're entertaining, you're fun to watch. Hell, that's more than the past regime gave you. So I mean, I think why not? Sky's the limit. Why not Carolina? I'm not putting a cap on what Shane Beamer and this crew can do at all. I'm not doing it. I think that anything's possible. But, again, it's good to be realistic. You're not going to say, next year we're going to win the SEC. But, you got to get those kind of recruits and those type of athletes on campus, build that depth, establish your culture. But I think good things are going to happen for South Carolina football sooner rather than later. I really do. So I really, really do. Let's see. Tyler Knoll, make game day fun again, bro. That's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I feel, really. Savannah Webster, what announcements are we keeping our eye on Wednesday? You tell me, what announcements are we talking about? Oh, as far as recruiting, I'll have to go back and look. I'm not 110% sure. Obviously, Wednesday is signing day, the early signing day. That's probably what a lot of the podcast tomorrow, maybe, or Wednesday we'll talk about. I don't know. I got to kind of figure it out. It's kind of weird now because we're past football season. It's not quite as structured now. Basketball games are getting canceled. So, again, you guys will know when the podcast drops. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll have to look and see. I'll have to look and see what guys we're kind of waiting on their announcement for sure. So, Stevie Odom, any coaches from the Auburn staff you'd like to see get a look for a coordinator position? Not particularly. I mean, there's not really any guy on that staff, and I'm like, oh my God, we have to go get him. I mean, it's, like I said, I'm interested to find out this week. Because again, I love the fact that people want to come to me and ask me, Chris, who are the coordinators? But it's like, I have no, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm right there with you guys. I'm right there with you guys. So I'm ready to know just as much as you are. Okay. All right, guys, got about a minute left, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'm going to tune into the Shane Beamer availability on 107.5 The Game. I'll be tweeting it, giving you guys my thoughts as well. Also, again, quick reminder, once again, if you have not done so, check out the podcast drop this morning, episode 338. I talk about just the ongoing coaching rumors, who might join the staff, who might come back. Also get perspective from a current South Carolina player on Shane Beamer and the changes there. And, of course, the conversation with Steven Garcia as we break down the hiring of Shane Beamer, future of Gamecock football, an absolutely electric conversation. You guys check that out. Again, be sure to stay tuned as well this week for some really exciting announcements. On top of that, go check out the store, obviously, tsus.store. All the Beamer stuff still available there, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate you all tuning in again. Monday through Friday this week, noon to 1, normal schedule, podcast every single day. You guys know the drill. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, guys. Thanks so much.